As you saw in the short video, HIPAA is United States legislation that provides patient data privacy and security provisions for safeguarding medical information. There are two components to HIPAA, the privacy rule and the security rule. The privacy rule establishes national standards for the protection of certain health information, while the security rule establishes a national set of security standards for the protection of certain health information which is held or transferred in electronic form. These standards apply to all covered entities. As you can see on the slide, there are three distinct groups of covered entities. Let's start with the first group, health plans. This includes most health insurance companies, including governmental payers like Medicare and Medicaid, as well as HMOs. The next group is healthcare clearinghouses. These are entities that process non-standard health information which they receive from another entity into a type of a standard. A claims processor is an example of a healthcare clearinghouse. And then the third, final group would be healthcare providers. This is a pretty large group. This includes doctors, psychologists, chiropractors, dentists, clinics, nursing homes, home health agencies, DME companies, pharmacies, and then their associated workforce, such as nurses, allied health professionals, and office or support staff. Obviously, PHS fits into this third box as a healthcare provider and is subject, along with its workforce, to HIPAA's privacy and security rules, protecting the privacy and confidentiality of our patients' health information. Minnesota law goes a step beyond the federal HIPAA laws by requiring all patients or their legal guardians to sign and date a consent authorizing the release of their health records, unless, of course, otherwise authorized by law. PHS combines this with our Home Patient Agreement, or our HPA form. As you can see here on the slide, the Protected Health Information Consent grants permission for PHS to share patient PHI. All patients, from a supply-only patient all the way up to a 24-hour nursing HCN patient, are required to sign a home patient agreement upon admission. Each patient and or their caregiver is given a copy of the signed HPA to retain for their personal files. This is the Minnesota Access to Health Records Notice of Rights. It explains an individual's rights to access their health record and when certain information in their health record can be released without their consent, as required by law. For example, for specific health activities, or when health information about victims of abuse, neglect, or domestic violence must be released to a government authority, for health oversight activities, or for judicial or administrative proceedings, for specific law enforcement purposes, for certain organ donation purposes, or to stop the threat to health or safety, for research purposes approved by a privacy board, or for specialized government functions related to national security, for workers' compensation purposes, and in a medical emergency. This notice is located in the Care and Service booklet and is provided to all patients or their legal guardians upon admission to PHS. Before we review how we can use and disclose protected health information, or PHI, we really need to understand the definition. PHI is defined by HIPAA's privacy rule as individually identifiable health information, which is held or maintained by a covered entity, such as PHS, or its business associates, that is transmitted or maintained in any form or medium. This includes identifiable demographic or other information relating to the patient's past, present, or future physical or mental health conditions, or the provision or payment of healthcare to an individual that is created or received by a healthcare provider, health plan, or healthcare clearinghouse, the other covered entities we previously discussed. The privacy rule goes on to list 18 unique individual identifiers. Some of the more common identifiers to PHS are listed here, including patient names, addresses, dates of birth, admission or discharge, email addresses, telephone numbers, diagnosis, medical record numbers such as our CPR Plus numbers, health plan identification numbers, and full face photographs. Regardless of whether you work in the office, work from home, out in the field, or any combination thereof, most of us work with PHI on a daily basis. When you look around, you really see it everywhere. As illustrated on this slide, PHI comes in a variety of formats: electronic, paper, verbal, and images such as photographs and videos. Let's start with the electronic format. PHI is stored and transmitted in many electronic applications here at PHS, such as our primary EHR system, CPR Plus, Insight, modules such as our comprehensive care, our HCN, and our help desks, our Google accounts, our smartphones, and even our system folders. The next category, paper. We're not quite paperless yet at PHS, so there's certainly plenty of paper to go around. Several examples include delivery tickets, our statements of medical necessity, or SMNs, freeform orders, our 485s, plan of treatments, patient visit assessments, demographic summaries, the medical documentation from referrals, our billing claims, prior authorization documents, and repair tickets. I could go on, but you get the picture. The next category is verbal communication, which can occur between you and the patient, or their family and caregivers, or other healthcare providers. And then the final category, photographs and videos. Photographs may be obtained for continuing care or for marketing purposes, but keep in mind they can also identify the patient and are considered protected health information.